Australia here, coming to you with a video. And I know I'm kind of late to the party. It's probably old news because a lot of this information was really discussed, 2 weeks ago or a week ago, and it's regarding Trump's tax bill. But I thought it was a great segue to talk about because the debate just happened, and even what I do with business funding or what have you, I want to kind of explain some things what a lot of people don't understand about Trump only paying $750 in taxes. And of course, I'm not even sure if they really documented if that stuff has been proven by his tax returns or what have you. And this has nothing to do with do you support Trump, do you don't support Trump. That's not what this is about. I just want you to understand the moves that are being made by those who are in a particular tax bracket. And what do I mean by that? See, what a lot of people do not understand, the tax code was never really written for the lay folks. And the lay folks are people who just work and kind of go through life. And it's no offense to people who have a job, who hold down the jobs. No, there's no offense to that. But understand the tax code, and at least in this country, was created for the wealthy. It is created for business owners. It was created because there are things in the tax code that will shelter a business owner or a real estate investor um, income. For example, um, a few weeks ago, not a few, a month or two ago, there was a whole big old uproar about the Trump tax bill. Now, I'm not talking about Trump taxes, about the changes that he was making to payroll taxes, and that um, government employees, private industry corporations, it was by choice where payroll taxes would not be withheld from the employee's paycheck. People were in uproar. Do not sign it. Don't let them do it. This, that, and the other. You talk to a tax advisor to figure out if it's an okay strategy or not. But this is what I want to explain to you. See, the reason why Trump is not connected to that whole FICA thing, Social Security, paying into Social Security, which of course is going to go. Exactly, exactly. Stacy, I'm glad that you realize that. Yes, Trump is in a position to hire advisors who study, who eat and sleep the tax law, and so they will find loopholes for him to shelter his money. All the wealthy do it. I'm a former tax, professional. I worked at, a very large CPA firm. Those in the tax industry would know the company. I started working at Deloitte and Touche. When I first got out of college, Deloitte and Touche is considered a high. At that time, it was Big Six. I don't know if it's Big Four or whatever, but they only dealt with big corporations, and and the CEOs of those corporations. And so, I say that to say there are a lot of creative things. Oh wow, okay, so you're familiar with Deloitte and Touche. You would know that name very well. But with that being said, Stacy, then you would know this. The reason why Trump is not connected to the whole Social Security, Medicare, which is really FICA. So when people pay FICA out of their taxes when they work, that goes into the Social Security system and Medicare. But this is where the US tax code is so creative. If you are a real estate professional, in terms of if your income, thank you, Stacy, if your income is derived from passive income. Now, of course, there's a whole test the IRS has to go through, and your tax professional will do it to show if you are a true real estate professional. You don't pay taxes on, and when in terms of FICA, on the income that is produced from your real estate holdings. There's no FICA. So business owners, thank you, Stacy. Business owners and real estate professionals, they get that. That's why when that whole thing was going on in the news a month ago about the deferral of taxes, that only that was only a thorn in the side for people who actually work a job, because individuals who work a job know that they have a gross pay, but then they get a net check because they know there's taxes in between. They've been, if you worked anywhere in the US, you've been ingrained to understand that system. But as a business owner, we pay our taxes off our profits. So I can gross 10,000, write off 9,000 worth of stuff. And I'm only, just to dress things up to not make him. Yeah, exactly. So going back to what I said, I'm a business owner. I gross 10,000. I'm doing easy numbers. Let's just do 100,000. I gross not $100,000 in my business. I write off 90. I'm only getting taxed $1,000. Whereas the person who works a job, they make 100,000. They getting taxed off of the 100,000. They're in the what, 35%? Stacey, you may know because you're a tax professional, but I think if you make $100,000 here in the US, I think you're in the 35% tax bracket. I say all this to say, individuals like Trump, Jeff Bezos, billionaires, high net worth millionaires, they're never going to have taxes on the gross of their business revenue. Who does that? That's why there are tax laws in place so that money can be sheltered. So understand this. That is what Trump did. But it gets deeper. Now, hold on to your seats. There's something, most people, if you study what I say on this channel, study the economics of this country, study capitalism, study, oh Lord, study capitalism. I'm glad you're back, Stacy. Study capitalism, study the economics of this country, study the monetary system. With that being said, there's a such thing as active income, passive income, and portfolio income. Doing great. Active income is the highest form of taxation out of all three forms of that income. Portfolio and passive income are not taxed as high as active income. With that being said, there's another form of income that a lot of people don't know, and that's phantom income. And most people be like, well, I never heard about that. What's a phantom income? Think about the word phantom. Phantom is what, a ghost, you don't see it. Well, that's the same way with income. Phantom income is income that's not recognized in the form of the tax law. Why? Because there's a such thing as tax write-offs. There's a such thing as debt. That's why with what I do with real estate funding, I always say it depends on the financial IQ of an individual, because see, the rich and the wealthy know that they're going to leverage debt to buy assets that's going to create money. Now, this is not a conversation about being debt-free or what have you. Like I say, this ain't a debt-free channel. If that's your goal, by all means, no disrespect to those who are on their debt-free journey. But I also understand that If my goal in life is to create wealth for myself, to have income producing assets, I'm not trying to do it with cash on hand. I'm not trying to do it with all my liquidity. I'm going to leverage somebody's money, because if I know that if I know that I take that debt and I put it into an asset that's going to create for me money, it's a tax write off. It doesn't get recognized. That's why it's phantom income, because there are things that are going to offset that income. What offsets that income? The expenses, the debt. That's why I always tell people, if your business is structured the right way. I went over that yesterday. I did a video on what I do a video on. True business credit. And I talked about, in order to get true business credit, I don't know. Well, I know you've called it ghost income, but I've always been told it was phantom income. Um, but I talked about um, the reason why many business owners cannot really get true business credit, not business income, business credit, business funding, because they're not set up the right way. And so they don't get the opportunity to structure themselves properly for their business to be a its own entity to get the funding. You see how all this ties in together? I know one is saying, well, wait, she's supposed to be talking about Trump. But what I'm trying to display to you all is these are the strategies. It's not about liking someone, it's about understanding how people are playing chess where other people are playing checkers. You see what I'm saying? I usually have consultation calls every day, and people are trying to figure out chess moves playing checkers. And what do I mean by that? People are trying to call me. They want to do consults, but they doing checker moves when it's a chess play. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's some things that you can get from YouTube. Don't get me wrong. But if you truly looking to play chess, and people, they're trying to understand, they're using a lot of emotions. I see it all on the internet. How is it that he only has a 750 tax bill? How is it that Jeff Bezos is a billionaire and he pays less taxes than his workers? All this other stuff, because they're playing chess, when many of us have been sold, because a lot of us come from the US educational system, and they teach us checker moves. Those are clearly checker moves. So I say all this to say, now is the time. Great wealth is going to be created now. Will you be in position? Will your business be in position to take advantage of leveraging the tax code, getting funding and business credit to get assets that can generate you money? Ask yourself that, because this is a chess play, man. It doesn't matter who wins the presidential election. We are in a season of chess playing. And if not, you are going to be caught behind the eight ball. You're going to be caught behind the eight ball. So that's all I have to say. I'm 14 minutes in, but these are the things that I talk about. I do the clients I work with, we do group coaching on Wednesday nights, and these are the high level conversations that I have with them. This coming week, we did a real big deep dive the last 2 weeks on business credit. I'm not talking about that BS on the internet, on YouTube, about the net 30 accounts and all this other BS. I'm talking about a real deep dive. And then this week, we're going to be talking about, this coming Wednesday, we're going to talk about how to leverage um, the alternative business funding, business credit, and structure it in real estate? What are some of the moves that you can make? You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, and I kind of want to do a separate video on this, but I had a consultation with someone today, and it just triggered in me, and that's why I want to talk about it. A lot of people think the money is hard to get. Money's not hard to get. What's hard to get is that most people don't know how to get 20 and flip it to 40 and flip it to 80 and flip it to 100. That's what people don't know how to do. I had a call last week, a few days ago with a lady during the pandemic was able to get close to $50,000. Asked me how much she flipped that to. Zero. She's in debt. Had no plan. See, the lenders are playing chess with people, and individuals are playing checkers. They straight playing checkers, and that's how they getting caught behind the eight ball. That's why they getting caught behind the eight ball. Um they don't know how to flip the money because their mindset is thinking the money is hard to get. Anyway, I digress. I am signing off. This is Lorelia. If you're a real estate investor, business owner trying to figure out this whole business funding that game. This is not about net 30 accounts and Dun and Bradstreet. It's about true money. Go to my YouTube community tab, and I showed my latest testimonial pre-approval that I was able to help a client get. And if you're looking for those type of results, $25,000 or more in funding, go to helpmegetbizcredit.com. Once again, helpmegetbizcredit.com. So once again, this is Lorelia, and I am signing off. Bye-bye.